Welcome to Bangla NPK Fertilizer and Agro Industries Private Limited. It is a sister concern of the Root Group of companies. Root Group was founded by Mohammad Razakul Hussain Tutul in the year 1999. Right from the incorporation of this company, the young entrepreneur has concentrated in textile manufacturing business. First starting with Ranka Shohel Textile Mills Limited and then Ranka Denim Textile Mills Limited, and finally emerged into garment manufacturing business, installing garment factory at Razak Tower, Uttarakhand, Dhaka. In the year 2014, he spread his wings over agro-based and fertilizer industry. Root Group of companies took over Bangla NPK Fertilizer and Agro Industries Private Limited. The factory is located 60 km south of Dhaka at Chorchashi Gajaria, Munshiganj on Dhaka-Chittagong National Highway on the bank of the river Meghna. Total area 17 acres of plain land having production unit 1 and 2. In unit 1, we are making NPK's mixed fertilizer already into operation. Unit 2, we have the plan of making TSP fertilizer unit under erection process. This plan should be operative from April 2016. 50% of the machinery is already in-house for the Unit 2. Capacity benchmarks. Unit 1 already operative since November 2015. Unit 2 shall be operative from April 2016. The production capacity. Unit 1 is meant for NPK's mixed fertilizer production, which will produce about 54,000 metric ton per annum. Unit 2 would be producing TSP, that is triple superphosphate, 99,000 metric ton per annum, with a byproduct of sodium fluosilicate 1800 metric tons per annum and gypsum 50,000 metric tons per annum. Annual turnover stands around 18 million USD for Unit 1 and 50 million USD for Unit 2. We are entering through the gate of the Bangla NPK fertilizer unit. To the left hand side, we can see the administrative building where the testing lab is situated. On the right hand side, you can see the meter bridge or the weighing bridge where the trucks are loaded and weighed. This is the whole view of the factory from the top of the roof of the administrative building. You can see the unit 1 under operation. We are entering into the unit 1 where we produce mixed NPKs fertilizer. The raw materials are dolomite, TSP, muriate of potash, urea, ammonium sulfate and gypsum. You can see we are feeding the raw materials into through the gate of the bucket elevator onto the bins. Here is the bucket elevator. You can see it's going up and the bucket elevator throwing it into the bins. There are 6 bins that can be seen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, all fed with 6 different materials. The materials are then metered through a variable speed motor and led into a conveyor belt. From individual conveyor belts, they are thrown into a common conveyor belt. You can see the common conveyor belt carrying the things into the crusher. It's falling into the crusher now, in the crusher units. Into the crusher units, they are broken into small pieces and led into the granulating tank through the bucket feeder. In the granulating tank, it is fed with water to form even and small granules of fertilizers. You can see the small granules being formed. The wet small granules are then fed into the drying unit through the conveyor, where it is treated with hot air at a temperature of 550 to 600 degrees centigrades. The dried and hot granules are then fed into the cooling chamber. You can see it's going into the cooling chamber, horizontal one. This is the horizontal cooling chamber. The granulated mix from the cooling chamber are then fed into the screening mesh, the oversized and undersized screen, which selectively segregates the 2 mm to 5 mm granules for final packing, and the rest oversized and undersized granules are fed into the crusher and granulator respectively. These are the 2 to 5 mm granules moving into the packing hopper and will be finally packed and stored and ready for selling. You can see the packing happening on the packing unit. The packed bag are then stored for final dispatch. The factory has its own internal testing facilities, a vacuum pump, a distillation unit, a digestion chamber, desiccators, heaters, digital balance, spectrophotometers, muffle furnace, rotary shakers, flame photometers and thermostatic drying cabinets. After the production of Unit 1, we will go into the Unit 2, which is under erection. The process flow chart of TSP fertilizer production. The raw material for TSP productions are sulfur powder, which reacts with oxygen, water, and catalyst to form the sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid in turn reacts with the phosphorite powder, which is another raw material, to form phosphoric acid and gypsum as the byproduct. The phosphoric acid in turn again reacts with phosphorite powder in presence of water to form the final product TSP or triple superphosphate. We are entering into Unit 2, which is under erection and construction. Two sheds already been constructed for the TSP production and TSP storage. You can see the machineries already been stored here into the TSP storage, and also the big turbine that has arrived into the bank of the river being pulled into the TSP storage. You can see the raw materials for the NPK's fertilizer unit is being stored into the TSP storage now. Here you can see the TSP production shed already been constructed. Now we are moving towards the rear end of our factory, towards the bank of the river where land piling is going on for the complete erection of Unit 2. You can see the construction work going on here, the land piling and the construction of pillars and structures. Now we will show you a view of our boundaries on the west and east direction. Our rear boundary extends up to the bank of the river Meghna. To provide a brief idea of how the project shall look after being fully constructed, we have made a rough layout of the whole factory covering Unit 1, which is already into operation, and Unit 2, which is yet to be completed. Starting from the main gate on the left hand side, we have the admin building, the raw material godown under construction, and then the generator shed. On the right hand side, we have the weigh bridge or meter bridge for weighing incoming and outgoing loaded vehicles. Then comes the NPK's unit already into operation. After that, we go into the Unit 2. On the left hand side or the east side, we have the TSP plant shed already constructed. Then comes the phosphorite powder warehouse, and then the phosphorite slurry unit, and after that the phosphoric acid plant, and finally on the bank of the river we have the gypsum store. On the west side, TSP store already been constructed. After that, the sulfur powder warehouse, then the sulfur melting section, after that the sulfur liquid storage tank, then the assay control unit, and finally the sulfuric acid plant. On the extreme west lies the demineralizing plant and the power plant, where we will generate electricity as a byproduct through steam turbine. At the bank of the river, we shall have the jetty to utilize the water body for transporting our raw material and finished goods. Now you are most welcome for any further query. Thank you.